Are you struggling with what to say and what to do and how to help people get over this hurdle of buying the second greatest financial decision that they make next to a house? And for most people, I think for everybody, it's always the most expensive decision, because even if you have purchased a house in the last month, 6 months, year, 5 years, 10, 20 years, then this automobile purchase right now is the most significant purchase in your life. And that just carries so much more research and concern, because buyers make the decision based on three simple factors. And when those are not in alignment and you can't necessarily help them make the decision when one of those factors is not in alignment, be it desire, fear, or pain, then they will not make the decision. It's the reason why they stall out. The reason why they say, let me think about it. I've never buy at the first visit. I've got to talk to my spouse, my friend, my automotive advisor, whomever that could be. If it's a used vehicle, it's a mechanic. The reason why they just hold off and they stop and they won't go any further is because they're confused. And the confused mind will always say no, because it just can't make a decision. The decision to cut off from what they're currently driving, the trade-in, and move forward to what they should be moving forward just doesn't carry enough value. They're saying to themselves, and the reason why they're confused is, albeit that my vehicle's 13 years old, the prospect of moving forward to a bi-weekly payment that's doubled, tripled, and quadrupled just doesn't make that much sense. And this is the reason why you may be struggling to close deals. And you're not alone. My coaching calls with the clients that I currently have, and if you want to know more about our coaching system, I'll drop a link below and you can book a call with me. You can ask me any question about it. I can share with you the details and how we go about doing so. You could ask me, more importantly, how do I start closing now at a 1 and 3, working towards a 1 and 2? One of the students that I had on this morning is closing at a 1 and 2 right now, which she's just enamored with that. She came to us less than 3 years ago, struggling to sell 6 automobiles a month, and in a very small rural market is now crushing it, hitting it right out of the park. Purchased her first house last year. She's a single gal and just living life and loving it. So if you're struggling with closing, you need to recognize that there is an aberration in place. And the aberration is a change of how we normally do things. And the change that has taken place is that customers, we've known this for a long period of time, by the way, and I'm not letting the cat out of the bag here, but we need to now acknowledge the fact that we do know that customers know more at this point in time than at any other time in the history of selling automobiles. And what that means is that our traditional sales training, and I believe, and I just watched just the most damning, ridiculous, silly reel. It was an Instagram reel of I'm guessing the gentleman was a sales trainer or attempting to be a sales trainer, or maybe he was the in-dealership guy assigned to do the training. And you could hear him role-playing with somebody that was not on camera. And it was just 100-year-old tactics that our consumer is fully aware of and actually get offended. So that kind of closing and that kind of negotiation creates what is better known as, clinically defined, cognitive dissonance. And what cognitive dissonance means, and it's a teaching term that those of us that pursue a teaching career, and I did not pursue a teaching career. I wanted to be a car dealer, always have, always will be, I still am, but I get the great opportunity to teach part-time at the Automotive Business School of Canada. And one of the requirements is that every one of the professors, part-time or full-time, must have a teaching certificate. So I had the good fortune, at no cost to me, to be able to go through that. And what cognitive dissonance teaches the teachers is that what we're teaching, while it is intended to draw you to us and help you get over closing and get on with negotiation and selling, it can actually push you away. Cognitive dissonance can have the opposite effect to what we would really like it to do. And so what we are doing with respect to not staying current with how the client had and what the client has researched and found by utilizing old teaching and training, outdated tactics that don't work and possibly never even did work at the time, is recognizing the fact from the late 90s, the late 1990s, the internet has made researching and selecting a vehicle and building payments and understanding everything that a shopper needs to know before actually coming in to see us so much easier for us to do our job. I don't think we're recognizing that fact. The closing aberration is when we meet a client and we want to take them through the activities that lead to the sale, and that hasn't changed. Those fundamentals will always carry on. You don't get a second chance at a great first impression, and you don't get another opportunity to select a vehicle. The customer may be very polite with you, take your price, and run down the street to the vehicle that they would like to go to, but that would be your fault. Your fault would be that you did not find out and confirm that the vehicle that you are showing and presenting is in fact affordable. What 40-year-old sales training, 50, 60-year-old sales training, especially in the automotive retail world, taught was never discuss price until you've selected the vehicle and created so much enthusiasm and excitement for it that the price is overshadowed by the value and the excitement of what that vehicle will present. What the customer knows coming in, and what I believe that average ordinary automobile salespeople are not doing, is acknowledging that work and that research that has actually been done. So the closing aberration isn't so much if I could, would you, or what will it take to earn your business, or are you ready to buy, or worse, the trial closes of weak salespeople such as, I get it, you're shopping right now. When you're more serious, come back and see me. Or, I get it, you're shopping around looking for a great deal. I'll tell you what, why don't you shop around and then come back and see me last? The problem with those tactics is that a customer can get best price on the internet. And that best price that they have may be cost by going through Car Cost Canada or Car Cost in general. And they may be getting it from a friend that works at a dealership that has access to that. And maybe that friend is at that dealership is not in their region. And that's the reason why that individual is not buying from their friend. Maybe it's across the country or across the state or in a different country, whatever the case is. The bottom line is the closing aberration recognizes the work that's gone in. And then it confirms that effort that has been made with what is the number one thing that you love about this new vehicle that you're going forward. And then we can focus all of our energies on that one thing that the customer loves about it. And the words are really quite important. You want to pick the word love as opposed to interested, because what I find I get when I test this at my dealership on the showroom floor is that interested, I get, yeah, I'm really not serious. We're just shopping around, gathering our information, and we're going to make a decision in a couple months' time once the winter is over. And the reason why interest doesn't carry as much clout and weight, especially in a trial close situation, is that the customer isn't certain that you're the person they want to deal with. Right now is the best time to buy, and this automobile is going to be that much better than the vehicle they're driving. So I started off by saying, even at a 10-year-old vehicle, or 13-year-old vehicle, 16-year-old vehicle, if we don't present so much of a difference that they must move forward to, if the new vehicle isn't that much significantly safer, the client won't buy. If the new vehicle doesn't provide so much more performance, and of course, if they're not buying a sports car or a performance car, and they're buying a sport utility or a pickup truck, it could be towing and load carrying capacity and passenger capacity and entertainment function for driving distances. It doesn't necessarily have to be 0 to 60, 60 to 0, and how many G-forces the vehicle can withstand on the skid pad. Performance has taken on a completely different definition, for lack of a better word, than what our traditional performance definition may be with respect to automobiles. And the other side of the equation, or not even the other side of the equation, but in alignment with those performance characteristics, the new vehicle's got to look And you have to share with them and get them excited about when they get out of their automobile, when they drive home and they walk in their house after a really tough day at work, or not a really great day at work, or even just a magnificent, fantastic day at work. When they look back at that automobile, that is what going to work for 6, 8, 12, 20 hours a day is all worthwhile doing. If they don't see that in the vehicle that they're moving towards, then the value bridge hasn't been built. If you don't ask them, do you love the way it looks? Can you really understand how the coefficient of drag is minimizing your fuel, is maximizing your fuel economy, minimizing the drag so that you produce less CO2 emissions at the tailpipe with a gas-powered engine? If this individual does not want electric or can't afford to go to a hybrid or a fully electric automobile, we can share with them how they're making the right decision now, because the newer vehicle, from the one that they had that is a decade old to the new one, is so much more technologically advanced. If we don't share with them how comfortable the seats are, how comfortable the cabin is, how quiet the cabin is, how comfortable the ride and drive is, getting them to their destination completely rested. I just finished chatting with a friend moments ago that just arrived back from Florida on their winter vacation. And they were just down for a week. It wasn't, they're not snowbirds. They had their children with them. And they were just saying, we came back to this weather, like, holy smokes, when is winter in the northern states and the northern hemisphere going to end? And for winter lovers, you know, we're like, I don't want it to end. I haven't got enough snowmobiling and winter biking in as of yet. And of course, spring is going to be right around the corner. If not, the first day of spring will be next week, I think that it is. The bottom line is, if they don't see the comfort that that vehicle will provide for them driving back, and I asked them, you know, do you drive straight through or do you break it up? They said, we break it up now. We just can't drive straight through. But they have a newer automobile, and they said, you know, with the new one, we can really get in 12, 14 hours. Like, our first stop was, I think they said, the southern end of North Carolina, and then it was real easy to get to Florida and their destination without having to drive quite as much. And they say, you know, you arrive at the destination rested. And I was asking them about the ride and drive and the quietness, because that all factors into the justification going from an old vehicle to the new vehicle. If they don't see the advantage of the economy that that new vehicle will provide, and if you're not bringing it to be top of mind for them, if you don't really paint the picture that their old vehicle's fuel economy is, the new vehicle's fuel economy will be, and then subtract that difference off their actual weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly payment, then that may just go right over top of their head. This could be the one thing that you need in order to make that vehicle sound affordable and desirable, and get them over the fear hurdle of waiting a day, 2 week, month, quarter, another year before they decide to buy. This is the aberration, in my opinion, in closing. If you're struggling with, I want to think about it, the price is too much, I need to talk it over with my spouse, I'm not sure whether we want to go with a truck or an SUV, or maybe we'll go back to a car. I don't know if now is a good time to buy. I'm kind of waiting to see what is going to happen in the political game and how that all plays out for me, my company, our economy, your products. The reason why customers share those details with us is to diffuse you, to get you off of your excitement and enthusiasm for presenting the new product, because that excitement and enthusiasm is contagious. They love it when you get excited. They feel that kind of excitement and enthusiasm, and they get thinking to themselves, I should make this decision. And it only makes sense because they have already climbed the stairs to get to the point to talk to you. They've thought about it, talked about it, researched the marketplace, touched and feel the vehicle at an auto show, and now they're at the point where they want to buy it. And what you do is help them climb down off the podium to ground level where they will make the decision. That's how you increase the desire, minimize the fear, and reduce the pain when their most painful point, the greatest concern that they have, is the fact that the price is so much. Payments have doubled, tripled, and quadrupled. And this very brief session, I hope it is very helpful to you, is not, in my opinion, going to be enough. You really want to book time in my calendar or go to the Auto Dealership Academy YouTube channel and watch some of the other videos, or scroll down in Facebook, watch some of the other videos. Facebook changed the algorithm again, or pardon me, changed their rules and regulations again. So now these videos are only going to be up for 30 days. That could be that I have so many in the group, or that could be a new change. But when I am saving the video here on Facebook, it is now only going to be saved for 30 days, and then it will automatically delete itself. Those are not my settings. That is Facebook settings. So keep that in mind. On LinkedIn, to my knowledge, they're keeping them forever, which is fantastic. YouTube, absolutely, unquestionably, they're there forever. So go and watch them as much as you want and spread the word. Tell other people about it, because this is how we sell 10, 20, and 30 vehicles per month with predictable consistency. This is how you can live the life of your dreams by closing every single shopper that comes in. This is how you can sell 14 vehicles a month. If you were to sell 2 people from each one of your opportunity buckets, 2 people from walk-in, 2 people from phone-in, 2 people from repeat, 2 people from referrals, 2 people from your network, 2 people from the service department upgrade, you would sell, and 2 people from e-leads, you would sell, of those 7 opportunities, 14 vehicles. It's only selling 2 people per month in each one of those 14 opportunities. And if you don't think that is possible, then book a call with me at the link below. Definitely book that call, and I'm happy to talk to you about it and share all the details and in fact how you can do so and close at a 1 in 3. Let's just work you up to a 1 in 3 ratio. If that is the goal and that is the bogey, we can do it by leveraging some tactics, sharing with the customer what you want to do to them, tell them what the benefit of that is, and gaining their permission is just but one way that you can do so throughout all the activities that lead this to the sale. And this is how closing is not one activity. Closing is not an activity that just happens at one time during the sales process, if you want to call it that. I want to call it just selling. It's not a process. A process suggests that it's cumbersome and there's steps that we have to follow and you can't deviate, and there's structure. And while we really appreciate structure, unquestionably, and while we really appreciate the steps making it easier, not all customers allow us, and therefore, to take them through the steps. Therefore, we must be flexible with our structure. And then when we start being flexible with the structure and following the lead from our customer, we can be controlled by the customer, and therefore skip a step, which may be exactly what the customer is looking for. For instance, if you get an assertive, aggressive buyer who doesn't want to look at the vehicle, doesn't want to drive the vehicle, doesn't know whether they're going to trade their vehicle in or not, but they just want to know what your bottom line, lowest possible price is, because they're shopping 3 places, and quite frankly, the lowest price is going to get their business. If they are that candid with you, that's wonderful and terrific. But on the other side of the equation, if you haven't moved them from the vehicle that they're driving, if they're an assertive buyer, if they're an aggressive type of buyer, they're probably driving a 5-year, 4-year, 3-year-old vehicle. They're probably more affluent than some of your other buyer behaviors. And so this is how they can be demanding and demonstrative and commanding, and that can intimidate you, especially if you are not of the same buyer behavior. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter what behavior you are, selling behavior that is, to meet that buyer behavior. Pardon me. People like dealing with people that they like. And they like dealing with those people because they are like them. So with that demanding buyer, you need to be just as demanding back. They're demanding your best price. They don't have any time. How long will it take? I don't need to see the vehicle. You may want to suggest to them that you know something about the vehicle they cannot find on the internet. They will not find through journalist reviews. They will find it extremely interesting and absolutely beneficial to ownership during the lifetime that they have the vehicle. And can you just have 5 minutes of their time in order for you to take them out and show them what nobody else is going to be able to tell them about? Assertives love that stuff because they are the early adopter. they are probably coming in on your newest, latest, and greatest. And albeit they may not necessarily be in the market at this nanosecond in time, they could be tomorrow, they could be next week, they could be next month, they could be next quarter. And that may be part of the reason why they're coming in. When you tell them what they can't find somewhere else and what they don't know, they will stop in their tracks and listen to you. And this is where your closing aberration is, while you're presenting that product, you could say to them, can you see yourself going with this one? Can you see yourself using and driving? Can you see yourself enjoying and telling all your friends and your family that you're the first one to have it, and this is what that feature does? And I got to think, when Super Cruise and Blue Cruise came along, and for those Tesla owners that would call up their vehicle or make it dance with the windows and opening, and, the doors opening and closing, and the lights flashing and the horn beeping, that was probably a dynamite selling feature for an assertive, because no other automobile to this day has that sort of technology. While it doesn't necessarily enhance the ownership of the automobile, it is really impressive to those around that do not have a Tesla, that do not know much about a Tesla, and that Tesla owner gets to really be impressive that, yes, I've got one, and this is what it can do, and wouldn't you think that was neat if your car could do that? And that's what makes it exclusive. That's what you would do if you were the Tesla seller, or if you're reselling a Tesla product. That may be a feature that you want to talk about, and then ask them, could you see yourself doing this at the golf club, at the yacht club, at your cottage, going to visit friends and family? And they could be like, yeah, you know what? It's not a feature that you press and you activate every single day. Excuse me, pardon me, but it is a feature that when you go to visit friends, you might very well do it. I don't know why I have this frog in my throat all of a sudden. Everything was going fine this morning. It just facilitated a class this morning. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's a dry mouth. So when you think about what you're going to be closing the customer on, it's not so much, and this is again where average ordinary automobile sales training has failed us in the past, that we're focusing closing on the price, the end of the sale. And that's all that it's all about. And albeit closing is the act of finalizing the agreement, that is but one activity within closing. And with our system of 3 phases and 9 steps, closing being one entire step in the system with lots of video, lots of exercises, lots to talk about how we actually do so, you can learn from the manifesto of biology, that's in fact what we call it, how to get commitment throughout the entire sales activity, going through the activities, your welcome, your interview, counseling, qualifying with them, product presentation, demonstration, trade appraisal, and now the purchase consultation. This is the reason why we don't call the purchase consultation closing and negotiation. Closing happens at the welcome. What did you come in to see and drive today? That is a close, isn't it? Now, we look at it as just narrowing down their focus. What did you come in? It's a simple question. It's easy going. It doesn't create cognitive dissonance. It's a great welcoming to the dealership. What did you come in to see and drive today? Is a close. This is the aberration of closing. See, closing isn't an aberration. The aberration of closing is what I'm sharing with you right here. In the interview, where you share with them what the new vehicle has on it, as well as finding out what their trade-in is and finding out how much the monthly payment is on that trade-in, so that you can roughly come up with a payout, so that you can roughly calculate an accurate monthly payment, so that you can hopefully deliver the new vehicle, sharing with them what the advertisement is and ensuring that that is affordable before you ever waste any time taking them out on the lot, warming a car up where I live, brushing all the snow off of it, or maybe where you live, turning it on and getting the air conditioning blowing cold as fast as you can, all of which is the closing aberration. This is the aberration, the change in how we do things from what we did before. And you may be doing this right now. And I really certainly hope that you are. But if you haven't systematized it like I am suggesting here, then you're probably losing out on some opportunities. And that's the reason why the average closing ratio hovers around 1 in 5 and worse, going down to 1 in 10. If you want to get your closing ratio to 1 in 4, which means you talk to 4 people, you will definitely sell 1. If you want to get that to 1 in 3, think about selling 15 vehicles in 1 month. Would only require 45 leads. If you got 40 leads or less in the month of February, there's a very good chance, if you did not sell 10 automobiles, which if you got 40 leads in February and at best you had a 1 in 4 closing ratio, which is considered good, an average closing ratio being 1 in 5, which is best of the worst, worst of the best, which was lower than 1 in 4, means at 30 leads, you sold 6 vehicles. That is not going to get you on track to earn a 6-figure income. That is not going to get you a pool in the backyard. That is not going to take you on a trip to Disneyland, at least staying staying right on the lake, right close to the park. You have to decide what you're looking for at this point in your career and this time of the year. If you're struggling to sell double digits, end that now and reach out to me and book a call with me. I'll take you through it. I'll tell you exactly what the manifesto is, how much it costs, how quickly you can get started, how we hold your hand all the way through, how we warranty your success. We don't guarantee success. Guarantee would be, yeah, you're not getting any. Okay, we end it. That's done. We warranty it. We work with you until you are successful and have accomplished the goals that you set out and what you want. If you feel like you're all alone on the showroom floor, if you feel like you're just not getting the support that you desperately want and need, end that. Book a call. Find out what this closing aberration thing is all about. Because if you can get your closing ratio from 1 in 5 to 1 in 4 to 1 in 3, then you don't need a lot of leads in order for you to be able to sell a lot of vehicles and make a 6-figure income. In order for you to make a 6-figure income, I'll put it in perspective, you just need to average $500 commission per vehicle, selling 14 vehicles per month. You'd be selling 2 from each one of your opportunity buckets. That's what drives, your closing. That's where the aberration comes into play. How do I close? How do I know that I'm going to close the individual that I'm currently working with, even though I haven't even gone out and made a vehicle selection? How do I know that it is affordable to them? How do I know that they want to meet the business manager, fill out a credit application, and know that they can get financed? You need to initiate all of those topics of discussion. And if you don't, then the client walks away just being confused. And the confused mind always says no. So that's where you get, let me think about it. This is the first place I've been to. We had no intention of buying. You've been terrific. Are you going to be in on the weekend? Let us sleep on it, talk about it on our own. Then we'll pop by on Saturday, see what you've got. And they ghost you. They never come back again because there isn't enough. The value bridge doesn't only work from taking them from what their old vehicle is not doing to what the new one is not doing. It works for you. That here they are looking for a salesperson and they haven't found the one that they know, like, and trust to take them across that bridge and help them make the second greatest financial decision of their life and get on with living it. My name is Bill Harvey with the Auto Sales Academy on Facebook, the Auto Dealership Academy on YouTube and LinkedIn. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you really appreciated this and it is helpful. You know what would be really helpful for me, because you're getting all this training for free, it'd be absolutely amazing if you just dropped a comment. If in the comment section you just simply said, hey, this was really great, or you said, I had no idea. This is absolutely magnificent and wonderful. Bill, I'd really like to expand on that further. Take me into more of the aberration and how we achieve it at each one of the activities of sale. It'd be really great if you said, tell me more about these activities that lead to the sale. Like, I know the steps of the sale. I know the road to the sale. I've been told here are the 14 steps to the sale. You're talking about 8 activities. That sounds way easier. That sounds far more condensed. That sounds more doable, something that I can remember. Be great to hear you say in the comments. That would be fantastic. I'd love to know more about that. Please tell me more about that. It'd be great to have a thumbs up. And of course, better than that, I want to help you achieve your maximum potential. I want to make sure that you have had the same amazing career that I have enjoyed all the way along. The very career that I got to my dream of owning a dealership, a Chrysler dealership. I literally went from selling automobiles to owning the dealership. I was in management along the way, unquestionably, but even in management, I never gave up with going out and making sure the customer was looked after. Obviously, turnovers were a huge part of my plan and my management system. You know, here's something I don't share with everybody, and I probably should in the group. We have a management program. So if you feel that you've accomplished everything that you can and you really just enjoy sitting in on these free training sessions and making sure that your sword and your knife and your chainsaw is always sharp by sharpening your skills, so to speak. But if you decide that you want to go to the next level and be in management, we have a management program. And it will teach you everything that you need to know in order to be a sales manager, service manager, general manager, even a dealer principal, because I did it. And this is how I wrote that program. And this we can even share with you and, more importantly, coach you through the process of getting your dealer's license and registering a company and then speaking to either a car broker, car dealership broker, or speaking to the manufacturer about how to take over, let alone talking to your own dealer. If your dealer doesn't have a succession plan, then you might be the candidate for that. But you have to have the stripes before you attempt to get the promotion. So give some thought to it. But more importantly than that, if you're selling automobiles, and I believe the absolute best job at the dealership is selling cars, trucks, vans, SUVs, you know what I'm talking about. And if you're a power sport enthusiast, selling power sport cars, snowmobiles, ATVs, UTVs is absolutely the best job. You don't take your work home with you. You can scale your business, like my friend Glenn has, a 7-figure earner, sells 50 to 60 vehicles per month at a Chevrolet dealership. He does have a staff that is working for him. That's what I mean by scale the business. There's only so much time in the day, so many people that you can get to. We can share with you how you can accomplish that same level of success. It's just a matter of booking a call. Click on the link, book a call. Happy to talk to you about it. Hope you have a wonderful day, an amazing weekend. I look forward to seeing you again next week where we'll get into negotiation. Mastering negotiation, because this time of the year it cannot be a better time for you to be able to do so. Hone your skills, sharpen your saw, sharpen that knife leading into the second quarter of the year. Can't believe I'm saying that already. It feels like I'm rushing the years long. That's the problem with these great classes is I get preparing for the next one and the weeks seem to be picking up speed. Last year was an absolute blur. Have a great day. We'll talk to you again real soon.